Hello, my name is Alexis, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I did a walkthrough of the Unsloth documentation's chat template notebooks. First, I'll talk about creating a text classification model using Unsloth, and all of these notebooks are in Colab, and text classification is a type of classification where you try to have the model classify the input, and if you're using a lot of data, you would have to create a prompt or input for each observation in the dataset or each row, and you would have to have the model trained to classify those. And since the model was not specifically trained for classification, since it is a language model, or it's not exactly built for it, you would have to tokenize each of the expected outputs, like yes or no, and you would have to create a chat template basically that asks it to follow the task that we are having it do, which is classification. And so we'd have to format the prompt where the code is input here, and then ask the question, is this code written in C? Answer with yes or no. And then the solution area is where it is asked to fill in its own response as either yes or no. And then after, in English, if it's input by the model, then we can detokenize and then have it respond as a yes or no, is a 0 or a 1. If the label is a yes token, then it's a 0. And then if it's a 1, it's a no. So as you can see here, the model was trained, and then it got into 000 at the end of loss, so that shows very good accuracy. And then to evaluate it, you could evaluate it in Ollama by pushing it to to Hugging Face, which is like the model versioning. And then you could also infer in the notebook directly. And if you do it this way, you can have it evaluate a batch of data all at once, multiple times, and then have it show you the accuracy at the end. And then in the next notebook, I'll show you how I built a conversational chat model. And in the previous notebook, I used my own model that was trained on code to do a code classification tasks, and I believe that's why I got really good accuracy. And if you are building a chat model, Unsloth did it in their notebook by using their Tiny Llama model, which is a smaller version of the Llama model, and Llama was trained pre-trained, and Tiny Llama is a kind of a subset of that model. And if you want to train it to be a conversational model, it's better to have more data trained on conversations instead of code, for example. And you can use this chat template here that asks it to evaluate and respond to conversations from the alpaca dataset, which is a conversational chat dataset, and then train on it. And then I uploaded the model to Hugging Face, and then I also can use it in Ollama if you use the gguf unsloth method. Next up, I'll talk about the max context capabilities of Unsloth. So Unsloth has rope scaling which means if you change the max sec length parameter when you load a model, it will automatically format inputs to the model with a higher context window. So if you have a large chat template and data that is really large, for example, conversations or code, then it will be a really large input that you're training for each observation. You're collating across multiple columns. So you're basically increasing the size of the input to the model, so you would need a bigger context. And this could help increase the model's ability to respond to the instruction or conversation. And then lastly, I'll talk about how you can train a model using multiple data sets using Unsloth. As you can see, Unsloth had provided multiple templates and for different types of models, and these can help you format your input to the model if you have a lot of data that is formatted in this way, and according to the type of model that you have. And if you have LoRa adapters as well, then you can add additional data on top of your previously pre-trained model and not have to retrain the entire model from scratch. So if you want to train multiple times using the same model, then you can use LoRa adapters. You can do continued pre-training, you can do continued fine-tuning using the LoRa adapters, and you can also do the chat template method where you fine-tune the model with multiple different data sets and then save the LoRa adapters separately, and then you can merge them with the previously pre-trained model. So you can have multiple phases, and then after you can upload the combined model. For example, here I had the Quant5 coder pre-trained model on code, and then I additionally fine-tuned it with C# data, and then finally I fine-tuned it with Alpaca for conversation to be able to ask questions to the model about the data. And that would be all for this. You can find all of the notebooks on my GitHub repo here and all the videos that I've made so far. Thank you.